Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And I guess you'd call today a seasonably cool day. Our normal is around 43 degrees. We didn't quite get there, but we had plenty of sunshine and not much wind as we look down at the Wenatchee Valley. This beautiful shot from our Sky-Fi Tower camera up on Wenatchee Heights, our cross camera, and a beautiful shot of the valley today. But things may get a little white as we get into Thursday night. This is going to be late Thursday night into early Friday morning. We are talking light, widespread chance for rain mixed with snow. We'll call it a wintry mix, maybe an inch or so in the Cascades and part of the northeast Washington mountains. But other than that, we'll just see some flakes flying, and we'll talk more about weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. East Wenatchee police are looking for a pair of people they say stole a grocery cart filled with $700 worth of merchandise at Grocery Outlet on Valley Mall Parkway. A Wenatchee man arrested last July for imprisoning a woman inside a residential trailer earned a 90-day jail sentence and a year on probation. And the Washington Redistricting Commission failed to approve its voting district maps by the Monday deadline, but now the proposed district maps have been made public. But first, our top story tonight. The rate of new COVID-19 cases has increased slightly in Chelan and Douglas counties this month. The Chelan-Douglas Health District reported Tuesday that the two counties have a rate of 579 new cases per 100,000 population over the past 2 weeks. At the beginning of the month, the rate was 533 new cases per 100,000 population. The number of people being treated for COVID-19 at Central Washington Hospital remains high at 35, with 9 of those patients in the intensive care unit. Of the 35 patients, Confluence Health says 32 are not fully vaccinated. All 9 of the ICU patients are listed as not fully vaccinated. East Wenatchee police are looking for a pair of people they say stole a grocery cart filled with $736 worth of merchandise at Grocery Outlet on Valley Mall Parkway. The police department says it was last Wednesday that the man and woman made off with the goods. Anyone with information on the two people is asked to contact the East Wenatchee Police Department on the Rivercom non-emergency line, and that phone number is 509-663-9911. A Wenatchee man arrested last July for imprisoning a woman inside a residential trailer earned a 90-day jail sentence and a 1 year on probation. Wenatchee police say 35-year-old Alfonso Villanueva Arroyo confronted a woman who held a domestic violence restraining order against him and then kept her inside that trailer for 45 minutes while demanding she withdraw her allegations. Originally charged with kidnapping, assault, and witness intimidation, Arroyo pleaded Monday to lesser counts of unlawful imprisonment and third-degree theft. Police say he withdrew more than $400 from a relative's bank account without permission. He also agreed to plead guilty to misdemeanor counts of violating a protective order. The Washington Redistricting Commission failed to approve its voting district maps by the Monday deadline, but now the proposed district maps have been made public. The 12th Legislative District, which right now encompasses Chelan, Douglas, Okanogan, and part of northern Grant County, would instead stretch west across the Cascades into King County along the Highway 2 corridor all the way to the town of Monroe. District 13, centered around Grant County, would thicken southward to take in Tieton, Natchez, and Moxie. All of Douglas County, except about 2/3 of East Wenatchee, would join Okanogan County in an expanded 7th district, reaching to Pend Oreille County and the eastern Washington border. Meanwhile, in congressional maps, the 8th district would still cross the Cascades, but would lose East Wenatchee to the 4th district, instead gaining much of rural Snohomish County. All those borders are likely to change. By law, the redistricting process now moves to the state Supreme Court, where it must be finalized by April 30th. Well, coming up next, childhood flu vaccine rates have dropped significantly in Washington compared to the previous 2 flu seasons. My Girlfriend's Closet, the biggest annual fundraiser for the Women's Service League of North Central Washington, will return this weekend. Wild lynx from Canada are making their way back into Washington, thanks in part to the Colville Confederated Tribes. And the Washington State Department of Transportation says its Interstate 90 wildlife crossing on Snoqualmie Pass has been a major success. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Dr. Wayne Latimer's Chiropractic and Integrative Multicare specializes in all level of injury care. If you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, have a sports injury, or a simple fall, call today for a free consultation. They offer a combined multi-care approach with medical, chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and acupuncture. For relief from long-standing injuries to basic solutions for the weekend warrior, Latimer's Chiropractic Integrative Multicare is one stop, one location.
Welcome back. In another news, childhood flu vaccine rates have dropped significantly in Washington compared to the previous 2 flu seasons. The Washington State Department of Health says flu vaccinations were down about 25% during the months of September and October for kids ages 6 months through 5 years old. The agency is encouraging families to get themselves and their children vaccinated as soon as possible to keep people safe and out of the hospital heading into the holiday season. Flu is highly contagious and can cause severe illness and death, even in healthy people. Since last year's flu activity was very low, fewer people are likely to have natural immunity this year. My Girlfriend's Closet, the biggest annual fundraiser for the Women's Service League of North Central Washington, will return this weekend. The shopping event was one of the first community events to be canceled by the COVID-19 pandemic back in March of 2020. The event has been moved to the Town Toyota Center this year, beginning Friday morning and running through Sunday afternoon. A portion of the proceeds collected by the Women's Service League are donated to nonprofits that assist homeless women and children. In 2019, that amounted to more than $55,000. The event features gently used women's clothing, shoes, jewelry, and accessories donated by the community. Wild lynx from Canada are making their way back into Washington, thanks in part to the Colville Confederated Tribes. Several captured lynx have been relocated in the last few weeks to the Kettle River mountain range on the Colville Reservation. The goal is to reestablish a resilient population of the big cats, which are a federally threatened species in Washington. The partner effort between the Colville Tribes, the Upper Columbia United Tribes, and Conservation Northwest hopes to relocate at least 50 Canada lynx to the Colville Reservation. That project could take up to 5 years to complete. The Washington State Department of Transportation says its Interstate 90 wildlife crossings on Snoqualmie Pass have been a major success in both reducing vehicle-animal collisions and connecting habitat. Wildlife biologist Patty Garvey-Darda with the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife says more and more varieties of wildlife are discovering the crossings.
In the early 90s, we were recognizing that we had a problem as far as the traffic volumes going up on the interstate and becoming a barrier to the movement of wildlife. There was a risk that species would become isolated, particularly in the South Cascades, between the Columbia River Gorge, where Washington and Oregon come together, and I-90. You have species like wolverine, or black bears, or mountain lions that have very large home ranges. This crossing structure here is the Ketulus Wildlife overcrossing. It's the first one built on an interstate in the state of Washington. This bridge is 150 feet wide. There is soil on it. There are 8-foot-high sound walls so that animals can't jump off, and it protects from the sound, and animals feel safe. Animals like the overcrossing, and they like the undercrossings. One of the really cool things is we get to see all these interactions. We'll have a coyote crossing, and the elk chase it out. The species we've gotten so far to use the crossing structures are deer, elk, bobcat, coyote, raccoon, mountain beaver, pine marten. We think we got a fisher as well. We knew mountain lions were present on either side of I-90, just waiting to cross. We knew it was going to happen at some point because they follow deer and elk populations, and it was really exciting this year when we found that the cameras were showing a mountain lion. It was great because this year it happened. And the species we're waiting on are black bear. We have cameras, and bears are on either side. They're just getting ready. One of the things I really appreciate about the Washington Department of Transportation is their creativity and innovations trying to solve some of these problems. We're trying to build habitat within these crossing structures to mimic the natural habitats. We want them to see this seamless transition where they're coming out of this old growth forest and it seems the same all the way through.
You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in north central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The Education Service District that includes North Central Washington has the second highest rate of student COVID infections in the state. That's the word from the State Department of Health. The North Central ESD represents 30 school districts, which saw 357 student diagnoses in the most recent 2-week reporting period. In tonight's feature story, Okanagan County Public Health Officer Dr. Jim Wallace says the COVID vaccination for kids ages 5 to 11 is highly recommended to keep those case rates down.
I've been fielding a lot of questions from concerned parents, from school nurses, from school officials, from my own family members about the safety of the vaccine versus the complications that arise with COVID. COVID does affect kids, and it can affect kids in severe ways. We see kids get multi-organ inflammatory syndrome, where multiple organs of the body are impacted. That's rare, but it does result in hospitalization and is one of the most dangerous impacts that COVID has on kids. We also see long COVID in kids. So kids can have symptoms for longer than 2 weeks. The cough, the runny nose, the cold, headaches, just general lethargy can last over a month in kids. And we see it impair their ability to do well in school or continue in sports. There's a lot we don't know about COVID in kids. That's another reason why I'm worried about our children getting COVID. I know that vaccine side effects are a concern for a number of families. They were a concern that I had early on. I did a lot of research, read original articles, and evaluated the safety and efficacy of the COVID vaccine for myself, for adults, as well as for adolescents and now for kids. I'm confident that it's a safe and effective vaccine. The most common side effects are feeling a little bit of an illness because your immune system is ramping up and it's building its immunity to combat the virus if it ever does infect the body. Those side effects are a low-grade fever, fatigue, nausea, even a cough and runny nose, because the vaccine is doing its job to prime the immune system. More severe complications include anaphylaxis and severe allergic reactions and even myocarditis, pericarditis. Many people have heard of those things. They're really scary, but they're very, very rare. Only 1 to 2 cases in 40,000 people have been reported in older age groups. And there is reason to believe that it's less likely for younger age groups to get myocarditis. And so we're not advising that that's a reason to forego vaccination for kids. The risks of multi-organ inflammatory syndrome in children are much higher than any risk of complication or adverse effect of the vaccine.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Wednesday today, and it was a cool Wednesday with our high unofficially only at 40 degrees today. 43 is where we should be for this time of year. Our record high set back in 2015 when we topped out at 58 degrees. 27 is how we started our day this morning. 30 degrees is our normal low temperature. Our record going all the way back to 1959 at 14 degrees. Sunrise 7:09 and the sun set at 4:22. Let's take a peek at how your Thursday temperatures look. And yeah, it's going to stay cool even as we get into the end of the week. In fact, maybe even a little bit cooler than today. And even 40 degrees for the Columbia Basin, Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. See 39 in Wenatchee, 37 in Leavenworth, and 39 degrees as well for you folks in Chelan tomorrow. Tonight, we can expect partly cloudy skies turning mostly cloudy. It will be chilly once again. And here is our next weather maker. This area of low pressure off the Pacific coast, that will begin to move in, and it will begin to throw some clouds our way tonight. As we get you into Thursday, we'll see increasing clouds throughout the day tomorrow. This is around noon or so, maybe early afternoon, but as we make our way through the day, look how this precipitation fills in around the state. So we will see a 60% chance. I think we'll see some snowflakes flying as well on Thursday night. Maybe some leftover rain mixed with snow showers as we kick off our Friday morning, and then all of that will move into western Montana by late Friday. High temperatures once again kind of cool in the lower 40s as we kick off our weekend. It looks pretty decent. Partly cloudy skies, seasonal temperatures with highs generally in the mid-40s across north central Washington. Sunday, much of the same. Partly cloudy skies. We'll see temperatures near normal with highs basically in the lower 40s statewide, except a few 30s up in the northeast mountains. As we get you into your next work week, that's our next weather system. Monday, mostly cloudy. Boy, it doesn't have much of a punch, though. Here it is with the frontal boundary extending down from Washington. That will move through. This is about 8 p.m. on Monday, so just a slight chance of rain with highs Monday in the lower 40s. As we get you into Tuesday, partly cloudy skies. It will be dry on Tuesday and a little bit warmer with high temperatures then in the mid-40s. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast now. Tonight will drop down another cold one, 28 degrees, 39 tomorrow, a 60% chance of mainly evening rain mixed with snow showers. Expecting a morning snow rain mix as well in 42. And then for the weekend, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, lower to mid-40s. And by Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 46. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious? No, he's not. Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. The Seattle Kraken will hit the home ice tonight, and for the first time in franchise history, will play against the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago got off to a slow start and fired its head coach. Since replacing him with Derek King, they've won 3 straight coming into Seattle. The Kraken have lost the last couple of games after falling behind early, which is something Coach Dave Haxtell wants to fix.
You know, to be honest with you, we didn't generate very much against Minnesota. So when I look at our start, I evaluated that start. I thought we left something on the table. I didn't think we. It comes down to little things. I didn't think we started many shifts with the puck, which means our line changes weren't as sharp as they could be, especially in our home building. So we weren't able to generate a whole lot. We didn't give up a lot, but we still gave up 2 or 3 good scoring chances against. We ended up, not gaining the lead, and in essence, I've talked about it before. This is a tough league to play from behind in, we put ourselves in that position against a good team in our own building. So, we'd like to do that better.
Haxtell says the Kraken really need to do better at getting out in front early to capitalize on the home ice advantage.
In our building, with the type of atmosphere that we have, it's a huge benefit, if we can get out to a good start and have our crowd involved, and have that energy flow right along with us. And it's not going to be easy to do necessarily, night in and night out. But there's little pieces in terms of puck possession and momentum and pushing the right direction that can set you up for a good 60-minute effort.
Seattle's currently last place in the Pacific Division at 4-10-1. Anaheim and Edmonton are out in front with double-digit win totals on the season. Haxtell says the Kraken need to find a confidence in their ability and try not to be perfect.
We want to make sure we're cleaning up details without trying to get too perfect. There's a fine line there, and you just mentioned a couple of the flash screens that have gone in front of our goaltenders. There was one that happened in Vegas, and also in one of our I don't know if it was the Minnesota or the Anaheim game, but there's little details that we want to clean up. Right now, we're playing pretty good hockey, and we haven't had any results to show for it. So we have to really focus on some of the little details that we can clean up without taking away our enthusiasm, without taking away our competitive spirit. and all of those things that are very, very important to maintain.
Kraken and Blackhawks drop the puck at 7 o'clock tonight at Climate Pledge Arena. The game will be televised nationally on TNT. Well, the Wenatchee Wild are back on the road in Canada this coming weekend after dropping a pair to West Kelowna last week at home. Wenatchee travels to play 3 games in 3 days. Trip begins Friday in Nanaimo against the Clippers at 7. Then they'll board the ferry and head to Victoria Saturday to face the Grizzlies at 7. Then they'll wrap up the road trip Sunday afternoon at 2:30 in Langley against the Rivermen. You can listen for the games locally on AM 560 KPQ or 1340 The Hawk. You can also watch the games live on subscription purchase at Hockey TV. Well, the Seahawks are still trying to find the right formula this season and will try again Sunday at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Cards currently lead the NFC West at 8-2, while Seattle is on the bottom at 3-6. Seahawks are coming off their first shutout since 2011 season. Many questions swirling about whether Russell Wilson was ready to come back from finger surgery so soon. Coach Pete Carroll says they knew he'd be a little rusty.
There's no question that if you don't play for a month, it's going to affect you. And so we were hoping that we would be able to find our way and get back going again. And unfortunately, it wasn't as sharp. So, maybe in this week coming back, we'll see us, be a little bit more on it and more precise and all that. I think, I don't know that it's underestimating anything. It's just that, you got to deal with it. And this is the circumstances. You're going to come back after a layoff and you're going to have to play and you got to get going, And so that's just, we just had to do that. And this is the game that it was.
Frustration boiled over late in Sunday's game for wide receiver K Metcalf. The third-year player was ejected for fighting and has had several personal fouls called against him this season. Coach Carroll says it's been addressed and he expects Metcalf to turn it around.
The last thing he wants is for this to continue, and so you're going to see him. You're going to he's been really good for about a month now, 5 or 6 weeks of really just playing ball and digging in and all that. And he wants to make sure that that's what his work stands for, and I'm anxious to see him come on back out again this week and get going. We always want him to get the football, and we want Tyler to get the ball, and we want Gerald to get the ball. Those are the thoughts that we have, and so that the game plan is set to get that done if we can, and that's our intent.
Seattle and Arizona will kick off Sunday at Lumen Field at 1:25 in the afternoon. You can watch the action on Fox. Well, we have one women's college basketball score to pass along that is of local interest. 10th-ranked Louisville demolished Bellarmine last night, 82-25. Kashmir grad Haley Van Lith, second in scoring for the Cardinals with 11 points. She had 19 points to lead the team in its opening loss. Haley says the biggest thing she's learned in her freshman year was to take care of her body.
I think I learned a lot about leadership and how to lead a team to a championship. And I think the season is long in college, and just working on preserving your body so that you can play your best at the perfect time is something I'll definitely carry over this year.
Louisville made it to the Elite Eight of the NCAA Women's Tournament last year and only lost Dana Evans to the WNBA in the offseason. Van Lith says her goals for her sophomore year are more personal.
Pushing myself to get uncomfortable and not always just sit in the background, and get to know my teammates better, because I think genuine relationships create that trust bond that will allow them to perform at their best ability. So I think relationships and making myself uncomfortable.
Haley and the Cardinals host UT Martin tonight, and then she'll come back home, sort of, to Washington this Saturday to face the Huskies in Seattle. Let's look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And we're out of time, and that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night. News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.